Stop hitting me. Can't you see my belly? You heartless man. Martha's voice shook as she covered her stomach with both hands, tears all over her cheek. Are you talking to me in that manner? You fool, the neighbors gasped. You think that thing in your belly makes you special? You are nothing, just another hungry rat who came to steal my money. Okechi took off his shirt, shouting and raising his fist as he stood over her. His eyes were red like fire. But wait, how did we get here? Stick with me to the end to see how a one-night stand brought unbearable pain to Martha. But before then, comment where you are watching from. Subscribe, like, and share this video. It means a lot to us. Let me take you back to where it all started. Okechi was not always a monster. In the village of Umuoma, everybody knew Okechi. He was rich, the richest man in Umuoma village. He has big houses, many cars. Money was not his problem. But here's the thing. He wanted one thing he couldn't buy. A child. His first wife, Ifyananya, was beautiful like the morning sun. Her skin was smooth like fresh palm oil. Her smile could make even angry men forget their troubles. When she got pregnant, Okechi threw a party. He killed 3 goats. He bought drinks for the whole village. He danced until his legs hurt. 9 months later, Ifyananya gave birth to a baby boy. Okechi held his son in his arms and cried tears of joy. Finally, he whispered, finally, I am complete. But then, 3 days later, the baby died. Just like that. No warning. He just stopped breathing. Ifyananya cried until she had no voice left. Then one morning, she packed her things and left. No goodbye. No note. She just disappeared like smoke. Okechi's heart turned cold. However, he tried again. His second wife, Ngozi, gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl. Okechi's hope came back like rain after a long dry season. Unfortunately, 2 weeks later, both babies died on the same night. The village whispered, "There's a curse on Okechi's house." Because of this, Ngozi went mad, started talking to herself, calling her dead babies names. Okechi's relatives came and took her away. Okechi married a third wife, Zara. She was young and strong and healthy. She will give me a child, Okechi told himself. But Zara never got pregnant. Not after 1 year. Not after 2. Not after 3. One day, Okechi came home and found his house empty. Zara had packed everything she'd carry and run away. She even took his gold watch and the money he kept hidden under his mattress. That day, something inside Okechi died. His mother, Mama Okechi, came to talk to him. She was old and bent like a question mark, but her eyes were still sharp. "My son," she said gently, "stop this madness. Go to the church. Talk to the pastor. Let God heal your heart." But Okechi laughed, a bitter laugh that had no joy in it. God? Where was God when my children were dying? Where was God when my wives were leaving? Okechi, leave me alone, Mama. I don't want to hear about God or marriage or children anymore. Even his best friend, Chris, tried to help. Chris was a teacher in the village school. He was wise, patient, and kind. My brother, Chris, said one evening as they sat under the big mango tree, "I know you are hurting, but what you are doing now will only bring more pain." "What am I doing?" Okechi asked, even though he knew. "You are moving from woman to woman, using them and throwing them away. This is not right." In response, Okechi stood up angrily. "You think you can tell me how to live? You with your small teacher job and your small house. I have money. I can do what I want." Chris shook his head sadly. "Money cannot buy peace, my brother." But Okechi didn't listen. He continued his lifestyle. Different woman every week. Some he met at the market. Some he met at the bar. Some came to him because they heard he had money. He would take them to hotels, buy them food and drinks, spend the night with them. Then in the morning, he would throw some money at them and walk away. He felt nothing. No joy. No guilt. Nothing. His heart had become like a stone. Can you imagine living with so much pain? Keep watching to see how Martha entered this man's life. Martha was 17 years old. She lived in a small wooden shack at the edge of Umuse with her mother, Mama Tund, and her 3 younger siblings, Tund, Blessing, and little Chinidu, who was only 5 years old. Life was harder than stone for Martha's family. After her father died from a motorcycle accident 2 years ago, they had nothing. Mama Tund sold oranges by the roadside, but the money was never enough. So some days they ate. Some days they just drank water and slept hungry. To survive, every evening, Martha went to hotels begging for leftover food. Not proud, but pride can't fill an empty stomach. One Friday evening, Martha went to Golden Gate Hotel. It was the biggest hotel in Umuse. Rich men came there to drink and spend money on women who wore tight dresses and red lipstick. Martha waited outside the kitchen like always. Suddenly, she saw him, Okechi, stumbling out, drunk, well-dressed, but walking like his legs didn't work. He saw Martha standing there in her faded dress and worn-out slippers. "Hey, you, girl," he called out. Martha's heart jumped. She knew who he was. Everybody knew Okechi. "Yes, sir," she said quietly, looking at the ground. Okechi walked closer. He smelled like expensive drink and cigarettes. "What are you doing here?" I'm waiting for leftover food, sir." Okechi laughed. "Leftover food? Is that all you want?" Martha didn't answer. "Come inside," Okechi said suddenly. "Let me buy you real food. Fresh food, not rubbish from the trash." Martha's stomach growled loudly. When was the last time she ate food that was cooked just for her? Food that was hot and fresh? I don't know, sir." "Don't be stupid. Come." Okechi grabbed her hand and pulled her toward the hotel entrance. Martha should have run. Every part of her body was screaming at her to run. But she was so hungry, so tired, and he was offering food. Once inside, Okechi ordered everything. Rice, chicken, plantain, salad. Martha ate like she'd been starving for years. Because she had been. Meanwhile, Okechi drank and watched her. "You are very beautiful," he said. His words were slurring together. "Do you know that?" Martha felt uncomfortable. "Thank you, sir." "How old are you?" 17, sir." Then he asked, "Do you want to make real money?" At that moment, Martha stopped eating. She knew what he meant. She had heard stories about Okechi, how he used girls and threw them away. "Sir, I should go." But then he said, 20,000 naira. Instantly, Martha's breath caught. 20,000. That was 3 months of her mother's work. Just one night. In the morning, 20,000 naira. You go home. Everyone will be happy. Okechi said, holding her hands. Deep down, Martha knew this was wrong. Mama always said, keep yourself pure. Never sell your body no matter the situation. But at that moment, Okechi pulled out cash. He counted 20,000 right there. Martha thought of Chinidu crying from hunger, Blessing not going to school, her mother's tired face, their leaking zinc, and so she took the money. In that instant, she destroyed her life. Comment below, what would you have done in Martha's situation? And don't leave yet. The story gets crazier. The next morning, Martha woke up feeling dead inside. Hotel room empty. Okechi has gone, but at least the money was still there. He kept his word. Martha dressed quickly. She wanted to run home and forget this ever happened. Just then, the door opened. Okechi walked in. This time his voice was cold, not like last night. Wait! Okechi sat down on the bed and looked at her, really looked at her. What is your name? Martha, sir. Martha. He nodded slowly. You live in Umuse? Yes, sir. By the stream. With my mother and my siblings. Okechi was quiet for a moment. Then he said something that shocked Martha. Come back next week. Martha's eyes went wide. Sir, Come back next week. Friday night. Same time. I will give you another 20,000. Martha shook her head quickly. No, sir. I can't. This was just one time. I can't do this again. 30,000, Okechi said. Sir, please. 40,000. His voice was hard now. Martha, use your brain. You need money. I have money. This is business. Martha felt tears burning in her eyes. I have to go. She ran out of the hotel and didn't stop running until she reached home. Mama Tun was outside washing clothes in a bucket. Martha, where have you been? I was so worried. You didn't come home last night. Martha couldn't look at her mother's face. I was at Auntie Ego's house. I helped her with her children. It was a lie. The first of many lies Martha would tell. She gave her mother 15,000 naira. Auntie Ego paid me for helping her. Mama Tun's eyes filled with tears of joy. 15,000. Oh, my daughter. God bless you. God will reward you. But Martha didn't feel blessed. She felt dirty. She told herself she would never go back to that hotel. Never see Okechi again. The money was good, but it wasn't worth it. However, 2 weeks later, Chinita got sick. The doctor at the hospital wanted 10,000 before they'd look at him. Martha remembered Okechi's offer. And so, that Friday, Martha found herself walking back to Golden Gate Hotel. As expected, Okechi was waiting, smiling, like he knew she'd come. And that's how it started. Every Friday. 40,000. Sometimes 50. At first, it was just at the hotel. But then Okechi started taking her to his big house at the edge of the village. After 3 months passed, something changed. Martha started feeling sick in the mornings. She started throwing up. Everything smelled wrong. Eventually, Mama noticed. Martha, are you pregnant? No, Mama. I ate something bad. But deep down, Martha knew the truth. She was carrying Okechi's baby. What do you think Martha should do? Comment below and keep watching. 2 more weeks passed. Martha couldn't hide it anymore. She had to tell him. So, one Tuesday evening, she went to Okechi's house. He was drinking as usual under the orange tree in his compound. What are you doing here? Sir, I need to tell you something important. What? With a trembling voice, Martha said, I'm pregnant. Immediately, Okechi stopped moving. Slowly, very slowly, he put down his drink. The look on his face? Disgust. What did you say? His voice was quiet. Too quiet. I'm pregnant. With your baby? For a long moment, there was silence. Then suddenly, Okechi started laughing. Laughing until tears came. My baby? You think that thing is mine? Sir, you're the only man I've ever. Without warning, shut up. His voice exploded. You think I'm stupid? You probably have 10 different men. Now you want to trap me? No, sir. I swear. Only you. You're a liar. At that point, Okechi stood up, started walking toward her like a lion toward prey. And then, this is where everything explodes. Remember the beginning? Now you'll see it all. Without warning, he slapped Martha. Martha's head snapped sideways. Blood filled her mouth. Stop hitting me. Can't you see my belly? You heartless man. Desperately, Martha covered her stomach with both hands. Tears poured down her face. Blood dripped onto the floor. Are you talking to me in that manner? You fool? By now, neighbors heard the noise, rushed to the compound, gasped through the windows. But nobody came inside. You think that thing in your belly makes you special? You are nothing. Nothing. Just another hungry rat who came to steal my money. In fact, you're a disgrace. Furiously, Okechi ripped off his shirt. His eyes blazed red. His chest heaved like a wild animal. In terror, Martha crawled backward, hands protecting her stomach. Please, please don't hurt my baby. But at this point, Okechi was gone. All his dead children, failed marriages, bitterness, pain, all of it poured out. Martha screamed. She curled into a ball. She protected her unborn child. What will happen to Martha and her unborn child? Will she survive the monster that Okechi has become? Stay tuned for the shocking twists ahead in part 2. You won't believe what happens next. Drop a comment below and let us know where you're watching from, like the video, and subscribe so you don't miss it.